Hi, I'm Caitlin with Embroidery Library. I have something new to show you, in the hoop quilt blocks. Now you can piece quilt blocks right inside the hoop. They are quick stitching so you can whip them up in record time. I'll show you how to cut the pieces and place them right inside the block. Let's get started. All in the hoop quilt block designs from Embroidery Library come with two files, the full embroidery file and one that contains the die lines. The die line file is marked with DL. I will use these die lines to cut the fabric pieces to the exact shapes. Print the die line file at full size using embroidery software. I'm using Embroidery software. Willcom TrueSizer is another program you can download to print die lines. I like to label the die lines before cutting them. This helps me to organize the shapes. Then, cut around the shapes but leave a bit of space around each piece. Spray the back side of the die line pieces with a bit of temporary adhesive. Smooth the pieces onto the fabric and cut out the shapes. Next, hoop a piece of quilter's cotton with one piece of sheer mesh cutaway stabilizer. I'm using Sulky Soften Shear. Hoop both layers together firmly, make sure there are no wrinkles or bumps, then tighten the hand screw. I'm hooping a large piece of fabric so that I can re-hoop the fabric after each block has sewn. Load the full embroidery design into the machine. Attach the hoop to the machine and embroider the design. The first die line shape will sew. After it is sewn, remove the hoop from the machine, but do not unhoop the fabric. Remove the paper from the fabric piece, spray the back side of the fabric with just a small amount of adhesive, and place it right inside the shape. Smooth the piece in place. Attach the hoop back onto the machine and continue embroidering the design. A tack down stitch will sew next. This stitch binds the quilt piece to the bottom fabric. I matched the color of the top thread to the fabric color. Continue with the design. The remaining die lines will sew one after the next. After each die line sews, remove the hoop, remove the paper from the fabric piece, spray the backside of the fabric piece with adhesive, and place it inside the die line. A tack down stitch will sew around each piece. A cutting line will sew last. This line of stitching will be used to cut the quilt block. When the design is finished, unhoop the fabric. I printed a template of the full embroidery file to place the next block. Position the template on the fabric, leaving about 1 inch in between the edges of the design and the first block. Mark the center point with an air erase pen. Hoop the fabric and embroider the next block. After the blocks have sewn, place the fabric onto a cutting mat. Using a quilting ruler and rotary cutter, cut right along the cutting lines of each block. The blocks are now ready to be assembled. You can also add a special touch by embroidering accents onto the pieces before they are added to the block. Place the die line pieces onto the fabric and trace the shapes with an air erase pen. Allow some space around the shapes for hooping. Print templates of the accent pieces, cut around them, and place them inside the shapes. Mark the center point and the horizontal and vertical axis lines. Hoop the fabric with one piece of sheer mesh cutaway stabilizer that has been sprayed with adhesive. Attach the hoop to the machine and load the accent design. Move the hoop so that the needle is directly over the center point in the first fabric piece. Embroider the design. When the design is finished, move the hoop to the next piece, align the needle over the center point, and embroider the design. Repeat this for each fabric piece. When all the designs have sewn, unhoop the fabric and cut out the shapes. Then, load the full embroidery design, hoop the bottom fabric with sheer mesh cutaway stabilizer, and embroider the block as you saw earlier. Use these blocks to make quilts, pillows, placemats, and wall hangings. With using different fabric prints and colors, design accents, and thread color, the possibilities are endless. I made a 9-patch quilted pillow using the In the Hoop quilt blocks. Visit our website for step-by-step instructions on how to make this classic, lovely embroidered piece. Thanks for watching. To find more videos, machine embroidery designs, and tutorials, visit our website www.emblibrary.com.